Hi, okay, so I know it's been a really long time since I uploaded the video of Alice and I meeting. I've been extremely depressed and haven't wanted to edit any of the videos. So I'm really sorry if it takes me a while to get these videos out and uploaded. We vlogged a little bit of the trip. Not gonna lie, we have kind of a lot of videos, but it doesn't feel like we really vlogged like the entirety of the trip because we were just trying to live in the moment. When I first got there, I was a little in shock. Obviously, when you meet your friend that you've known for like 3 years over the internet and then you just like fly for like 16 hours to go see them, I went through so much to get there. I explained it all in the first video, but when I got there, I was so shocked and just overwhelmed. And the first thing that shocked me when I got in the car was the fact that they drive on opposite sides of the car. The driver in America is normally on the left side, but in New Zealand and pretty much a lot of other places drive on the right side. And it's the left side of the road. So it was just weird. So that was the first thing that I noticed when I got in the car. Cue the clip of me freaking out over that.
They drive on the right side of the car.
Left side of the road, right side of the car.
So when Alice got in, I was like, Alice, are you driving? She does not drive. And if she did drive, she would kill us all.
I am not a bad, terrible driver. I'm not a terrible driver.
I'm not a bad, terrible driver. Neither am I. That's what I said when I got in 2 car accidents.
After that, I was so ungodly tired. I was so jet lagged from the trip that I just wanted to sleep. Like, everything was so loud and overwhelming. And I got there at night, so it's not like I could just look out the window and see all of these things that we were passing. So her mom was like trying to show me this or that, or like this flower garden, and like, first of all, it was dark, and second, the windows were really foggy because it was cold. So I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about, I can't see anything. But she was also like clearly nervous, and she was also really excited, and she just wanted to share everything with me like right then and there. And my brain was having this like overload, and I didn't know how to take in all of this information. So she was just sitting here talking about the history of New Zealand and all of these things that we were passing, and I'm just like, I'm not gonna remember this in 5 minutes. I'm not gonna remember it tomorrow. So thanks for the history lesson, but my brain can't handle this right now. After that, when we got to Alice's dad's house, I was basically like falling asleep in the car, but they were both like wide awake and excited, and they just wanted to talk about everything, and I'm just like passing out in the backseat. They sat there smoking cigarettes, and they were just like talking back and forth about like the history of New Zealand or whatever. Honestly, I don't remember anything from that conversation because I was falling asleep, but finally when they were done talking, her mom helped us get inside, and there was this like path, like sidewalk leading up to her dad's like back door or something, and it was all like bumpy and messed up. I was trying to bring my suitcase across the sidewalk, and since the sidewalk was all messed up, I kept tripping, and my suitcase was like falling off of the path, and I was like, what the hell? And Alice wasn't telling me anything like watch your step or whatever, so I was like, oh, that's kind of rude. But yeah, she's just so used to it that she just like forgot to mention it to me. But yeah, once we got inside, I just kind of like sat there like trying to keep myself awake. The first thing that I told Alice to do is to buy beer, because beer loosens me up and it like just helps me relax, especially after all of the traveling that I did. So we just opened a few Coronas, and we were just sitting there talking with each other. And the first thing that we tried to do when we got inside was to get my phone set up so that I could talk to people and like update everyone that I'm safe and sound. And then after her mom left, I just really wanted to play with her cat, because I missed my cats and I wanted to meet Chaos so bad. So I just sat down and started playing with Chaos.
He knows I'm filming.
Yeah, he's so fat you can't reach it. Yeah. That's a total mood.
That night was kind of like just an overload of information, and it was just so overwhelming for me that I was just like, all right, you know what, I'm done, I need to sleep. So I went to sleep, and That morning, Alice was like really excited to have me there and she wanted to go grocery shopping. But I was so completely wrecked and destroyed that I was just like, I can't get up, I can't go anywhere, I need to sleep. By the time I woke up, she wasn't there. I think she was grocery shopping with her mom. I was just kind of like sad and homesick and kind of just wanted to go home, but I was really happy that I finally could meet my best friend, so I was just kind of like waiting it out, waiting until she got home. Alice did most of the vlogging. She filmed like most of the trip. I was kind of feeling like a little camera shy and kind of like scared and nervous to really like film anything, so I stole most of her footage. I was like really happy to be there and I wanted to film most of the experience, but I don't know, it was basically just like ripping off my arm to film. Like, it was so strenuous and I regret not filming very much, but I'm happy with the footage that we did get.
So we're here for dinner.
Thought this was fake.
We're at Burger King. That's the mall. So we're gonna do dinner. Mom's standing there awkwardly. I'm gonna go.
So the rest of that day we didn't film very much. I don't even remember what we did that day. I'm pretty sure we probably just got drunk. Like, we got drunk a lot of the time that I was there. Like, every other day it was like going out and exploring and then getting home and drinking and then going to sleep and then waking up the next day with a hangover. Yeah, that was pretty much most of the trip. Not an alcoholic or anything, I promise. We were both just like trying to like warm up to each other, and the only way that we could really do that is with the help of alcohol. So. On September 8th, we woke up refreshed and ready to explore a little bit, so we took the bus to the center of town. We took a bunch of pictures of the murals. All around town, there are a bunch of abandoned buildings due to the earthquakes, and a lot of people have put just graffiti and art and lots of murals on the buildings. So I found this building with this weird name on it.
Atuatahi, New Zealand.
The thing that I love the most about New Zealand is that they have so much culture surrounding their cities, and since everything is always falling apart and breaking, they try their best to like keep their culture alive. And that was the thing that I adored the most about New Zealand. And then we wanted coffee, so we went to this coffee shop, but it was so busy, so we just found this like caffeine tester thing. I'm not even sure if it's like real, but it tests your caffeine levels. You put your hand in it and I guess it like buzzes your fingers, and Alice put her hand on it at first and it freaked her out, so I tried it and Have you tried our cold brew?
Okay, I'm gonna do it without freaking out. When it does that, I just want to move my hand out.
Have you tried our cold brew?
it was just one of those cute, like, eventful things that I experienced. So after we visited the center of town, we went to, I don't remember what it's called, but it's like the place where all the buses go. Having a brain fart. We went there and then we took the bus to her mom's house and we visited her for a little bit. I played with her cat. We just kind of sat there and talked for a little while, and then after that we walked to the pier. Now, the pier is a really long walk. I'm not sure exactly how long of a walk it was, but I would say from looking at my Fitbit, it was probably about 10K steps. And basically it's like these sand dunes that are like small hills. All along the sand dunes, there's this beach. We found this like side section of the dunes where it's just like this foresty area, and we found a cute little tree house. We took a couple pictures and vlogged around there a little bit.
So I'm going on my first nature walk with her. She's wearing a dumb hat.
It's cold. I don't do cats.
It's been very nice out here. I'm really fucking cold. My lips are numb, my hands are numb, my feet are numb.
I'll see what the temperature is.
But, you know, it's very nice out here. I definitely prefer the cold over the heat. It's been very eventful going through the
It's 8
city.
degrees, but it feels like 5.
My phone is dying.
This is inside the treehouse hut that we found. I'm not actually going up this far, but yeah.
I wish I had the balls to climb this,
Can you catch this?
but my feet and hands are too numb.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Getting a good shot of my ass.
Alice climbed it though, because she's got more balls than I do apparently.
I'm not very fit.
Neither am I.
See, when I was growing up, I grew up by the forest, so this shit was like my playground.
And then we continued down the sand dunes, and I went down the beach, and Alice started having a panic attack, so she kind of hung behind. She didn't come up with me to the beach because of the water and everything, and I was just so fascinated that it was so cold and I was on a beach. Like, beaches are always like hot. That's what I associate beaches with. Like, you go to the beach when it's hot, the sun is like beaming down on your skin, and you dive into the water because you're hot. And the fact that it was like freezing and my nose was so cold, and I was on a damn beach. Anyway, I just like collected driftwood and seashells. I believe I talked a little bit about how I felt, and I remember in that moment I felt so free and everything felt so beautiful, and it was like I was seeing the world out of a new pair of eyes. I was so excited to just experience that whole thing. We continued to walk down the sand dunes, and we started seeing the pier at a distance, and I felt like we were never going to reach the pier because we had already walked for so long at this point. The pier was still so far away, but I was dedicated. Alice started getting really tired. Her feet were hurting, and you know, she just kind of wanted to stop walking, I think, but she was excited for me, so she wanted to just kind of brave up and be strong for me, and she kept walking.
So I have thalassophobia, but I'm not about to miss an opportunity to see a New Zealand beach. So I'm gonna look at the fucking beach. So honestly, it's kind of rare to find seashells in Mexico. So it's really awesome that I'm finding seashells. I found a purple one. It's really fucking beautiful. This is like the best beach I've ever been to. Too bad Alice couldn't come down here with me though, because she has a really extreme fear of water. I do too, but like I said, I'm not about to miss this opportunity. And I'm collecting seashells. This is amazing, honestly. Like, it freaks me out that this was once underwater, and it freaks me out that I'm walking toward water, but I mean, this is just wow. Okay, this is freaking me out, honestly. I'm getting a little scared of this. I really want to go toward the water though. I want to reach it. But I don't know, something about this is scary. It feels like I'm gonna sink, I'm gonna fall into nothingness. But it's okay. I'm trying to keep myself calm so I can get toward the water. This is scary. This is really scary. There's hills over here. And this is where the water looks like it's gonna start. This is where I stop moving. And it kind of freaks me out that there's boats out there. I kind of have a weird fear of that shit. And there's some shit floating back there. I don't want to know what that is. Alice is way over there. I don't know if you can see her, but she's too scared to come down here. I really wish she could come down here. She's just looking at me. Probably really bored. And it's so fucking quiet, and you can just hear the water. In Mexico, I can't really come to the beaches because it's too hot. But when I do come to the beaches, I'm not really like socially accepted there because you have to go in like beachwear, like shorts and bathing suits and stuff. So it's really nice to come out here and be on a beach in a coat with jeans. It really hit me when I was landing in New Zealand. I was like, holy fuck, I'm coming to New Zealand. I just landed in New Zealand and I'm about to meet my best friend. So yeah, this is really incredible. This is the happiest I've been in a really long time.
Finally, we reached the pier and we started getting really scared. I explained a little bit that Alice and I are both really afraid of water, but I was really like happy to be on that pier because I had never been on a pier like that before, and I'm in New Zealand, so like I shouldn't let my fears get to me. I should just like go and explore. Just like a little piece of advice, if you're exploring somewhere new and like say you have a massive fear of water, for example, and your mind is like feeding you all of these things that could possibly happen, like the bridge breaking and you're gonna fall in, or out of nowhere there's gonna be an earthquake because earthquakes happen a lot in New Zealand, or a wave's gonna hit you and you're just gonna drown or something like that. Like, instead of listening to all those fears, just try your best to just tell yourself that it's gonna be okay and you're never gonna have another opportunity to do this again. So try your best to get over your fears and face them and just go do what makes you happy. Like, you don't want to regret that in the future. Because if I had not gone on that pier or climbed the massive rocks that I climbed, or I don't know, met the people that I met, like I wouldn't have those experiences, and I would leave New Zealand wondering what if, like what would have happened if I did do those things. So yeah, just face your fears. It's good. It'll be good for you in the long run.
So we just walked probably like, I don't know, a mile, 2 miles? I don't know distance. I'm really bad with those.
We walked roughly 6k.
Yeah. Steps.
Kilometers.
Oh. Also steps, I think. I've walked 11, 12k steps today. But anyway, we walked up the, what do you call them, dunes?
Sand dunes.
We walked up the sand dunes and made it to the damn beach. Now we're on the pier and we're walking this very long pier, and I'm having a bit of anxiety. I'm over water and I'm very terrified of water.
I'm focusing on the camera.
I'm trying not to look down. I'm not afraid of heights, but when we're over water, it freaks me out. I've never experienced anything like this before. There's people swimming down there and they're fucking insane. Yeah, anyway, back to the beautiful view. Say anything about how you feel?
I'm just like wide-eyed and trying not to maybe pass out. It's such an incredible view. Like it's worth it.
And videos and pictures don't do it justice.
And it was actually surprisingly empty. Normally a place like that, like a main attraction, a beach, a pier, I would think that it would be really crowded, full of people, especially here in Cancun. there are people everywhere. There are tourists everywhere. You cannot go to a place like that without having like a crowd full of people. So it was really surprising to see that place like really empty. Anyway, after the pier, we went inside of the building across from it because we were really cold and we needed to warm up a little bit. We walked around inside until we warmed up a little bit, and she wanted to take me to a chippy. Now, I did not know what a chippy was. I know that there are parts of the world that consider fries chips, so I expected it to be just like a chip shop, fry shop. It was actually a Chinese restaurant. They also sold fries, which was super weird to me. Like, Chinese places do not sell fries. Alice was having a really hard time with her eating disorder, which I'm not sure she wants me to go too much into detail about, but pretty much the whole time she was having a hard time with her eating disorder, and during this time I was kind of like having recovery thoughts. Later we do a Q&A talking about like how things were with our eating disorders together. So I'm not going to get too much into that right now, but to put it short, like, she kind of triggered me a little bit, but also kind of not really. I was kind of on my own, and I was kind of like really dedicated to this recovery thing because I was living the time of my life at this time, and I was like, you know, I don't want to die. I want to live life. I want to experience things, and I don't want my mind or my eating disorder to take away from this experience. So I just kind of lived life and didn't really worry too much about food or calories or how much I was working off. We had walked all day that day, and I don't even think we ate anything, so I needed food. Anyway, so after that we were waiting for her dad to come pick us up, but we were sitting at like a bus stop and we were just eating the fries, and there were these pigeons. Now let me tell you, these pigeons were hilarious. Like, it was the funniest thing that I had experienced in a long time.
Such a funny. That's so fucking funny. He literally just chased him into the street. Go get killed.
I look really fat in that second video, so I don't really want to post it, but I'm going to because it's just part of the experience that we had together. But yeah, I'll never forget about those damn pigeons. Like, that was so funny.
This was on our way back to her dad's house, and this was a closed down church because of the earthquakes. And this part is the pier that we were just at, except from the view of the road. And as you can see, there's fencing around this building because the entire city is constantly under construction due to the constant earthquakes. And the New Zealand flag waving in the background. And this part you can kind of see the very bad quality purple sky along with all of the hills in the background. And this is just like the countryside of Christchurch. And this is also a very scenic route back to her dad's house. This is where I started to notice houses on the hills, and I don't understand why people have houses on the hills when there are literally earthquakes all the time, but okay.
That's a trampoline park.
Trampoline park?
Yep.
That sounds cool.
Do you want to go?
I'm kind of afraid of trampolines. I'm afraid of everything.
So we just got back. After the pier we went to a chippy and got fish and chips. And then Dad picked us up, got some beer. And my sister's coming around to meet Nikki, and that's really awkward. I probably won't film that.
I don't really remember what exactly we did when we got home. I just remember her dad taking us home, and I filmed a lot of the drive home, and pretty sure we probably got home and got drunk like we always did.
that pretty much sums up the first 3 days that I spent in New Zealand. I look forward to editing the next few days that I spent in New Zealand. For the rest of this video, I hope you enjoy a very short clip of Alice rubbing her cat's belly. Thanks for watching. Bye!